friends, Kristen here from Chunky Glitter Company, here to talk to you about our new foils and a few different ways to use them. So for those of you who know me, you know that I haven't really made a tumbler in about 2 years. I'm just getting back into the whole crafting side of things and making the switch over to Crystalac products slash Hyperion products from Epoxy. So I'm going to show you some of our new foils and then a few different ways that I've applied them and how to get some different results. So we'll need a blank tumbler. This one's just an old spray painted, now dented one that I used to hold my window open. You're going to need your favorite foils from Chunky Glitter Company. Your adhesive of choice. So I'm going to give you an example using the Crystalac glitter glue. The Crystalac glitter glue in a little squeeze bottle with a needle nose tip. And Aleene's Tack It over and over. You can also use Mod Podge, Helios glue, their specific foil glues. Play around with a few different ones that you already have and see what works for you. So here's the tumblers that I've made, or started, I should say. So this one is using a brush that has the bristles very close together and is very flat. I put the glue down, the glitter glue down, and then I added the foil, burnished it on, and moved on to my next section. This one here was made using Tack It over and over. And I used a chip brush for this. So this chip brush is very uneven, all different lengths, and it's coarse. So that allowed for more space in between where the glue dried. And then the third one, this was an old wood grain tumbler that I had made a long time ago. But being very cold in Canada, when I spray painted it and brought it inside, it all cracked. And then I did a wood grain over it because I was just practicing. And then I thought that the cracks looked like lightning. So I used our gold foil and the needle nose bottle. And I was just filling in the cracks. So let's do it together. If you have patience when you are crafting, that is a lovely thing. If you do not have patience when you are crafting, today we are going to use a blow dryer. You can also use a heat gun. I prefer the blow dryer because it's a little bit less heat, and you don't really need a lot of heat for this. You need some friction, some heat, and some good adhesive. Let's do it. So actually, let's start off with this one because it is already ready to go. So I am going to do this big crack here and show you. So when you're working with the foils, I do find that it is easier to cut them down into more manageable pieces because the foil sheets themselves are over 3 feet long. And that can just get quite annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off a couple of pieces, probably 2.5, maybe 3 inches long. And in some cases, you'll be able to use the piece more than once, depending on where your designs fall and how you're doing it. So I've got my glitter glue, and this is just straight glitter glue. It's not watered down or anything. And all I'm going to do is run it along this crack. If you have some coordination and talent, you can also like freehand designs this way. I do not have those skills, but I might work on them. All right, hit it with the blow dryer until it goes clear. Just got this on the lowest setting. Drying it as evenly as possible. Like this big glob here is going to take longer than this thin little line here, but you want to kind of be working at the same time if you can. sometimes you might just want to flatten it out, either using the end of a brush or your finger, just because it is going to take a long time for that glob to dry, and I really don't need that much. All right, so once that glue is dry and while the tumbler is still warm, you're going to set your foil down right on top of it and rub. I find it easier to take your shirt sleeve and put it over. Kind of gives you a little bit more power and it moves a lot easier. And give it a good nice firm push. And then when you peel it off, you have your accent. So we'll do one more here. I'll do this little line here and then we'll move on to the next one. And then you don't need to seal your foils with anything. You can just epoxy or bright tone, whatever you happen to be using. So see how fast that dried because I was able to apply it a little bit thinner. And we're going to just use that same piece of foil over again because we didn't use all of it and there's still plenty left. So when I say you can do a lot with a piece of foil, you really truly can. And you're just going to find the spot that matches the best for the shape and what's available. And again, just grab my hoodie corner there. You can also use one of the brayers that has like the felt end on it. I don't have one like that, so I just make do with my sweatshirt. Peel it off, and you've got your little accent. So you can do this on any different type of tumbler, any different design, and it just makes some really great detail. All right, moving on. So while sticking with the Crystalac glitter glue, we're going to apply with the flatter brush so that we get good coverage here and no breaking down in the glue. And then I just put the glitter in between the different spots to jazz it up a little bit. So for this one, I'll cut a few different patterns so that we can see what they look like. I'm a really big fan of this pink marbling. Oh, and I've already got it cut into a little piece. Get your leftovers back in there. Throw it to the side for when you have more patience. Do some of this little galaxy pattern. Looks like this is already cut. Beautiful. Do this one too. Now on one side of the tumbler, I'm going to show you what one brush does, and on the other side of the tumbler, I will show you what the other brush does. And we'll change up the adhesives just so that you can see. But really, I find that the adhesives work the same. I don't find a lot of difference in the way that they adhere to the foils. I really just think it's a matter of preference and choice. So for the flat brush, we will use the Crystalac glitter glue. And you'll notice that the brush application is very consistent and the glue is on there very smoothly. And then underneath that, we will use the Alens Tack It over and over again. And we'll use that chip brush so that you can see the difference between the glue and then the results of the foil. So see how that brush stroke is much different? It's not all smooth and pretty like this top one. And you're going to wait for them to turn pretty clear. Okay, so for this top one, let's go ahead and use this beautiful galaxy print. So put it on there gently and then grab your shirt and give it a rub, or your felt tipped brayer. You're going to want to create a little bit of friction there. If you're struggling, or if maybe it's too cold in your room that you're working in, you can add some heat here and then rub again. And then when you peel the foil off, you can just peel the edge and see if it's ready. And if not, then you're just going to keep on rubbing. Peel. That glue's not dry enough. And that did not work how I expected it to. I did that whole other tumbler with glitter glue, so we're going to try that elsewhere. But let's try the aliens down here and see how that goes. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So you see how those brush strokes where the glue was in between the chips in those brushes? That's going to give you that type of a pattern anywhere that you apply the foil using that chip type of brush. All right, let's try a different spot here with the glitter glue. I'm not sure why it's not cooperating so well today. I had no trouble the other day. But this is why we learn and practice. Maybe I put it on too thin. I tend to do that when I'm trying to use glitter glue and glitter, and then all my glitter falls off. Which is why you haven't seen a lot of Tumblr tutorial videos. I am still very much back at beginner skills. Alright, my impatience is going to hit that with the blow dryer. Okay, I don't want that to dry too much, so we'll just give that a minute. I'm just going to smooth that out. Because again, I'm trying to show you what it looks like here with a smooth brush. Alright, let's try this again. So I felt it grip into the foil better that time. So I think maybe my glue just wasn't on thick enough. Okay, anyway, this is going to give you a better idea. So see how it's more solid? I don't know what's going on with this tumbler. To be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you what it's base painted with. I painted it years ago. But let's try, while we're here and hanging out, grab a fresh brush. Let's try the tack it with the thinner, flatter brush and see what happens. There is definitely a big difference in the thickness of these glues. But I think because of the thickness, that even if I use this thinner brush, it's going to give me results like this one here. We shall see, we shall see. I don't know why this isn't cooperating though. This is annoying me. I'm hitting it with the hairdryer. Maybe I will call myself the impatient crafter. I kind of like the ring of that. The heat really does help it grip if you are getting stuck. But look at how beautiful that is. So the glue's still a little chippy because it was thick. But yeah, just it's a matter of really playing around with it. Like in this one, I was able to get a lot of space in between the glue with that chip brush and just hitting it with different angles. And then I put some Galaxy Mica from Crystalac in here, and then Charlene glitter from me over at Chunky Glitter Company. So yeah, that gives us a really nice. So my recommendations for glue based off of what I've used is definitely the tack it over and over again for large spots, but I'm happy with the Crystalac glitter glue in the little bottle for the detail work like we were doing over on this tumbler. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I will be certainly happy to do my best. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed my video on foils.